Sunday School teacher, I'm glad that you've joined us for our time of study and preparation. We are looking at the Bible study lesson for Sunday, August 5th. The title of this lesson is Averted, and the passage that we're going to be looking at is 2 Samuel chapter 20, a couple of verses there in that chapter. The point of the lesson is that God uses the skills of people to accomplish His purpose. In this session, we're going to examine how David's commander, the leaders of his army, and a wise woman achieved a specific goal by working together. The restoration of David's kingdom and his return to Jerusalem started a revolt by the northern tribes. And it is important for us to note that this will be the last of the revolts that David will experience. After this, there will be, let's just say, harmony with the northern and southern tribes. So let's look at these verses. First, chapter 20, verses 1 through 2, and there we see the division. Now, a wicked man, a Benjamite named Sheba, son of Bichri, happened to be there. He blew the ram's horn and shouted. And remember, this is the journey of David coming back into Jerusalem. He says, we have no portion in David, no inheritance in Jesse's son. And then he makes this statement, each man to his tent, Israel. So all the men of Israel deserted David and followed Sheba, son of Bichri. But the men of Judah from the Jordan all the way to Jerusalem remain loyal to their king. So here we've got Sheba, a Benjamite, who is known for his wickedness, took advantage of the conflict that was between Judah's soldiers and the rest of Israel by questioning the importance of the non-Judah tribes to David's kingdom. We had seen in last week's lesson where the men of the elders of Judah or Jerusalem said for David to come back. So he's coming back. Well, the folks from Judah go to greet him and bring him in. Well, the northern tribes are going, oh, well, the reason that the king ran was because the people from Judah kidnapped him. And so there was just all kind of rumors and stuff going on that it wasn't correct. And so that's where the conflict was. And then we have this guy named Sheba, a wicked man. Basically what it says there in verse 1 when he says that he's a wicked man, it's saying that he was a man under Satan's control that had no desire other than to sow discord. He was a troublemaker and he enjoyed causing trouble. It says that he blew the ram's horn. That was a call to action. They were having this discussion, this conflict, northern and southern in conflict, and he comes and he gets the attention by blowing on the ram's horn. And basically what he does is in his statement there, he accuses the king of showing favoritism to his tribe Judah. Now remember, Judah was the last one to say to David, we want you back as king. And here Sheba is saying, oh, well, you're showing favoritism to your tribe. Just, again, politics and people. It's amazing. The tribes, let me go back to this. When he makes the statement in verse 1, he says, each man to his tent. That is a call for revolt. What he was saying there is to withdraw from the royal procession, to return to their homes in their tribal territories, to reject the restoration of all of Israel under David's rule, and to arm themselves for conflict. When he makes that statement, they understood what that meant. Those four things: to leave the procession, to return home, to reject this idea of unification, and get your gun, we're going to go to war. Not your gun, but your sword and whatever else. The tribes of the north left David, but the southern tribes remained faithful to him. That's what we see in verse 2. The terms that are used and the division of the nation were the same as the formula of separation of the Israelite tribes into two kingdoms after the death of Solomon. So this conflict that happens here in verse 20, even though it turns out for the good of David at the end of it, eventually it